welcome to my channel. I'm Javier Fuenmayer. Thank you so much for being here. And in this episode, I'm going to be giving away 3 of the gimmicks that we're going to be making. As you'll see, they are incredibly easy to make. So I decided to make 3 different ones. One with a Memento Mori Nexus, a green, and an orange cherry. I'm going to send you the whole entire deck as well as a little tiny surprise. So a little gift for each one of the winners. All you have to do is comment down below your favorite one-liner joke. I'm feeling like I want to laugh, so make it the best one, and I'm going to choose 3 winners and send them anywhere in the world. Now, I'm aware that this gimmick or this way or method is incredibly easy. But don't let that get kind of like in the way of actually trying it out. As you'll see, you're going to be able to make this in less than 30 seconds, and you're going to get a very visual change. I'm going to show you how you're going to be able to do this if you want to perform it live. It's going to be super simple to do, as well as how you can make it look really good for social media. Also, at the end, stick around as I'm going to show you how you can use this very gimmick to do a card to case style of trick, or how you can control the card as you give the deck to your spectators to shuffle. That way, you don't have to use it as a color changing trick. You can also use it as, let's say, a holdout. And that is all gonna make sense towards the end of this video, so make sure you stick around for that. For now, let's get into making the gimmick. I'm going to be using these co-packs to make the gimmick. You can use any deck at all that you want. Just remove the cards from inside of the case. Close the case. We don't really need the cards or for it to be open. Then you're just going to take some tape. We'll take a little tiny piece, maybe 2 centimeters or about 1 inch. And we're going to tape this little piece right there and off to the side. So it's going off that corner there. Then you're going to take another little piece, and then we're going to do the same thing. Now, I want to mention while we do this that if you have a matte case, kind of like how this Nexus, the little tape is going to show. So another option would be to just use a little bit of rubber cement on the inside, and then it's going to hide a little bit better if you don't want the difference in the shiny and the matte. And the same thing goes here, but here it actually blends really well. So it's completely up to whichever case you're using. Because this one's kind of shiny, the tape kind of hides pretty well. So now I'm going to take the X-Acto knife, and then you're going to go to the bottom of the case as close as you possibly can to that edge. So I'm just going around, or I should say in a straight line from one side all the way to the bottom. And I'm not putting that much pressure. I'm just going slowly, making that cut deeper and deeper as we go down. That is going to ensure that the cut is nice and smooth, and it's not bad, as you can see here that I made it where it looks a little bit jagged and the edges are not as pretty as this one. So the way in which you're going to get it to look like this is by just going very slow and then going over and over until you get your cut. Now, believe it or not, this is technically it. You don't need to do anything else. So once you have your tape on both sides and you've cut your gimmick, you're ready to go. All you need now is to take a card, the card you want to change to, and place it inside. Now you're going to push just a little bit out so that that card comes out. And if you see, like right there, I didn't have that perfectly cut all the way, so I'm just going to remove it. If your card is not coming out, just make sure it's completely cut all the way through. And now you'll notice that that card very easily slides in and out. And this is what's going to allow us to cause that change to happen. Is we want to have this gimmick, well, it's not really a gimmick, but this little card sticking out. And you want to have it almost like a finger of the way out. And that's going to become important in a little bit. Then you can just place it down this way, and now you can't see that from the outside. If you have to, you can push it in a little bit further in and then pull it out when we're ready to do the move. But the move essentially is just picking up the case, and now we're going to hide this by just holding the case towards us. And when I say the case, I really mean the card. If you have the card facing towards you from the front, they're not going to be able to see it. But what's actually happening from behind is you'll see that this pinky here is actually going to be holding on to that card. So that card is going to come flush with the deck. The pinky's going to hold, and once it does, now we can kind of push that card down, and you'll see that it kind of creates the illusion that the case is just directly sitting or standing on top of the deck of cards. Now, by keeping a hold of that card that's inside of the case with the pinky, you're going to be able to just drag that case forward, and it's going to create the illusion, maybe not from that angle that you see there, but from this angle here, it really looks like that card is changing as the box goes across the deck. So you can clearly see that what's really happening is that card is just coming along for the ride, back and forth like this on top of that card. But with the deck in place, you can see that it just looks like it's either changing colors or changing the face of the card. All you have to do in order to complete that change, as you saw me do here, is just have the case go completely away from the deck. Now, you want to use your index finger or thumb to make sure that the card doesn't slide open and it doesn't pry open like this. So once it comes fully out, if you hold here and here, the card is going to stay perfectly flat. And then once it comes out, you can also bring it back and continue to do this back and forth motion, almost to make it seem like you're finalizing the change. And then you can display the bottom. There's really no need. This is mostly just for magicians. But once you finish that, now you have your change that took place. One way in which we can make the finishing or the last card look super clean is to take some double-sided stick tape and put it on the face of that card that you're going to be changing. That would go then inside of your prepared case. We'll push it all the way inside. And now, because of that double-sided stick tape, when we do the change, we can actually use the case to stick that card back. You want to make sure that it's lined up. That way, when you pull it apart, it looks like it's just a single card. But really, it's just stuck with the double-sided stick tape. So that's one way in which you can very easily get that card to look super ultra clean at the end. You're going to be able to use this to do color changes of the back of the card, or for instance, if you have a duplicate already loaded inside of the case, you can force the other duplicate on the spectator. Then as you shuffle the cards and you pretend you got their card, you're going to get it wrong, but then you can use the case to change it into their forced card, which is their selection. You may also remember that at the beginning of this video, I told you that we may be able to use this as a holdout. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I haven't tried this with real spectators yet, so this is only just an idea that I've been playing with here, but I totally see this working. I feel like it will work. So if we start with the case on our opposite side, and you'll see what I mean by that in a second, you're going to be able to take a spectator's card, let's say the King of Clubs, and they're going to think that it's lost somewhere in the deck. You and I know that it's controlled on top. So as we tell them that they're going to take the cards and just actually take the cards and just shuffle them as much as they want, we have actually stolen their card and we are just using the case as a little holdout. Now, we have a couple options here because as they're shuffling there, their attention is going to be here. What we could do here is just push it against our body, and now we have an effect. We have a card to case. So we have a card to case that we can do. Or my favorite option is to just kind of leave it there as a little holdout. They're shuffling that. Once they finish, all we're going to do is, and this is from the exposed view, we're just going to grab the card and put it inside of the case, controlling their card to the top. So from the front, from the beginning, from the front, what it would look like, something like this. They take the card, you shuffle the cards, it's controlled back on top, and we tell them here, you know what? Let me try that again. And we tell them here, you know what? Why don't you give those cards a shuffle? So shuffle those cards. Now here we have that there, they're shuffling the cards. And when you get the card back, you tell them that you're not going to manipulate the cards in any way. All you're going to do is just place them inside of the case. And then in that action, we have stolen the card, placed it on top, and now we can do that little move where we buckle here, and we put the card case right underneath that single card. We can then put this in a spectator's pocket, we can put it in our own pocket, and now we can very easily reach in and pull out the card, which, if you remember, they shuffle the cards and you barely did absolutely anything. You just put those cards in the case and that's it. So, as you can see, you can use this move to make some color changes, some very visual color changes that you can use either in real life or in social media, as well as using it as a little holdout that is going to help you control the card while the spectator thinks they have it in their hands while they're shuffling. I want to thank you so much for your time. That's all that I have here for you this week, but I will see you next week on Monday.